The summit day of Kilimanjaro. Wow. We woke up at like 11:30 p.m. So we literally only had like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm not totally sure why they do it this way. They said there's like less dust in your face. It's not as warm from the sun and shifting temperatures. So we just did it dead of the night and we began our hike at midnight. Like maybe 12:15 we began hiking up. And when I say hiking up, it was straight up. Like we were just doing zigzag. We were going up this mountain. We did not get to Gilman's Point on the edge of the mountain up to Uhuru Peak there till like 4:30 or 5 a.m. So it was dark, it was cold. There were other hikers there, right? So you see these lamps going and there's just like trails of people going up to the top. We were pretty spread out. We did get some moonlight at the beginning of our hike. You could see quite a bit, which was really nice. I actually wasn't able to catch a lot of the first part of this hike on video, but I have to say it was definitely one of the hardest parts. It actually makes me pretty emotional right now, even thinking about it. I didn't know if I was gonna make it. It was one of those moments where it's like, dang, like what do I do? Like my heart is beating out of my chest right now. It hurts so much. Do I keep going? But there were some things that I was holding on to, which was Uhuru Peak, my freedom, right? What was I fighting for? And there were also some things, even when I couldn't remember that were able to really help me push through. And luckily, I actually wrote them in my journal. I wrote, craziest day of hiking ever. The first hour and a half was pretty smooth because of the moonlight, but between the 2 and the 5 hour mark on the climb up to Gilman's Peak, we struggled. I struggled so much. My body felt heavy. I was constantly thirsty and hungry. I was dying of sleep deprivation, I felt, and was so foggy and inclined. I was starting to get dizzy anytime I looked at anything other than the pair of boots in front of me. So that's one of the things that helped me, was just look at the boots in front of me and keep going one step at a time. So I put all that to say those 3 hours were dark and challenged me to really dig deep like I had never had to do physically. So my motivation, in order of the most effective things that kept me going, number one was picturing Victoria smiling and just her beauty. It was my number one thing that kept me going. So I love you, Victoria. Number two was picturing myself at the peak and how grateful I would be if I kept going. Just that motivation of like knowing that that was my goal, that's why I was there, remembering the goal and keeping it in mind. Number three is not letting my team down, especially William. We had prepared for this. I mean, he was just going strong. I mean, I know he was suffering too, and he told me after that it was so rough for him too, but I did not want to let that show. And the next thing that really helped me was just taking one step at a time. Whew, that was like so big. Like just keep going, but it's okay to just focus on one step at a time. I know I can do at least one more. That whole principle was life-saving. Also, singing surprisingly helped me. I mean, I wasn't like belting anything out, right? But just like lightly singing, I had to do a little Bob Marley, like, don't you worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. The song, so that was like my little anthem for getting up that mountain. I was like, well, it's just a little bit of pain now for everlasting glory, right? As the movies all say. And then also just thinking of my family, right? And my little nieces and nephew. That was my motivation getting to the top. And it was very, very difficult in those dark moments. But once the sun started to come up, it did start getting better. Now, it did not get sunny. It did not like break once we made it to the top, right? It actually started to snow on us, right? And so it was so cold. We got to Gilman's Point and oh man, it was a freezing hell up there. It was bad. I remember when we made it there to that first point, we were pouring a cup like herbal tea and it was so cold. Like we were like trying not to spill it on ourselves. It was rough. So it was more like, let's just keep moving because we're so cold, and we just kept going. It was crazy. All right, once we got to Gilman's Point, things got a little bit easier. Like it was still pretty challenging. Now there was snow and wind in our face. It was pushing that thing hard. But the incline was not as crazy, right? So we actually got to move like an even pace because we're on the rim now, right? So from Gilman's Point to Uhuru Peak, we had another, I think like 2.5 hours of hiking, which was just insane to me because we'd already gone for 5 hours straight of hiking, but now we had another 2.5. So we got there, and that stretch to Uhuru Peak, like I said, it was a little bit better, but then the last like hour or maybe 45 minutes of climbing, another just incline, right? And we're just one step, and it was starting to get colder because of the wind chill. Man, yeah, that was tough. I'm very, very proud of us for continuing to move forward. And William, too, he was starting to really struggle here. I just knew we were going to make it. We saw people that were really having a hard time. We heard that some people, because of elevation sickness, had to go back and eventually helicopter down, which kind of crazy to me. And I'm just very grateful that we were able to keep our heads on straight, but also just that we were blessed with good health and that the altitude didn't necessarily affect us too much. Of course, we felt it, but we didn't get altitude sickness like a lot of people did. And part of that is because we did take some altitude sickness pills, which definitely saved us and helped us. So I'd highly recommend. But just when we thought that it was going to be another 20 years till we reached there, we finally started to see it. I still remember that moment. Oh, I got so emotional. I like see it through the fog. We were just hiking. I could see people standing around like by this sign, and then it started getting more and more clear, and that's when I knew we had made it. And wow, I got so emotional. Like I was trying to hold back like full on tears. Even now just talking about it, I'm like remembering that emotion that I felt. It was very, very tough. But I'm really glad that we kept going. And I'm glad that we set the motivations that we did, because it gave us some major reasons to move forward. And now I can always look back on that. Just remember, like, when I need to dig deep, like, what are those things that motivate me most in life? Victoria, my lovely wife, will always be that number one. And then also just the goals and the fact of getting there and how important that is, not letting our team down. There's so many wonderful things that I learned. So we took our time to take some pictures and some videos there with the sign. It was amazing, just glorious. No, we couldn't see the bottom of Kilimanjaro or overlook the clouds or anything. The sunrise never came up for us. It was just foggy as all get out, and it was crazy. And it was so cold and still snowing in our faces. But that was our sunrise. We made it to the top, and I'll never forget that. It was a beautiful feeling, but we were ready to go down after getting a few pictures because it was cold. So after that, we headed down, and William and I, we got to talk a little bit more and just like, man, like, how are you feeling going through that? And it was awesome just to hear that we were both going through very similar things, but that we just wanted to be strong and make it there, and we did. And eventually the clouds did break through for us. We got to see down on the other peak, which was Mwenzi. It was just a beautiful peak. And that darkest part of the entire hike, we got to have so much fun sliding down those rocks, going down. We got to ski, like rock ski, on our way down using our hiking poles. And so that was just another big lesson, right? It's taking something that was so dark and painful and turning it into something good, something enjoyable that can help others. And I've always kind of viewed life that like any hard thing that we go through, it's really there to help us become more, and then also to use that darkness, that sorrow that we felt, and serve others and help people. All the way down, we're just laughing at what happened, the experience. I mean, we were still really tired, right? Like, we've been hiking now for like at least 9 hours, and we still have like 2 or 3 more hours of hike just to get back down to our camp. But it was so much easier going downhill for sure. We did eventually make it back to our campsite, which from there we were able to get some good rest, hallelujah, get some good food in our bodies, just reset from that crazy difficult summit up Uhuru Peak. Wherever you are in life, I just want to encourage you, one step at a time. You got this. You're gonna do great things. You're gonna accomplish whatever mountains you got in your life, whether it's actually Kilimanjaro, it's another adventure trip, or something that's going on in your work life or your personal life, right? Really manifest what the ideal situation looks like. And remember that challenges are there to help you grow and become the best version of yourself. Make sure you subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next videos. Thank you so much for watching.